Better by Khalid is a really simple song for beginners on guitar, and while the recorded version of this song actually doesn't have guitar in it at all, the chord progression can transpose perfectly to a guitar, and I'll be showing you two different ways to be making this chord progression. The first way is to capo on the first fret and play out of G formation. The first chord would be a G chord. The way that I'm making it is I've got my second finger on the 6th string relative 3rd fret to our capo. So 1, 2, 3, 3rd fret relative to our capo. Your first finger will then go on the 5th string 2nd fret relative to the capo. You'll have an open 4th string, an open 3rd string, and then I've got my ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and then pinky finger on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. That will be your first chord. The second chord is going to be a version of a B minor. Now the way that I'm making this second chord is I'm leaving my ring finger planted where it is, and then I'm leaving my ring finger and really my first finger exactly where they are. But with my first finger, I'm going to then bar across the 2nd fret relative to our capo, and then use my pinky to put down on the 4th string 4th fret relative to our capo to make a B minor. You can make a standard B minor if you want to, but for me, that movement right there makes most sense for my fingers coming out of this G. So the second chord, a B minor. The third chord is going to be an A. The way that you make the A is I'm just using my first finger to bar across strings 4, 3, and 2 on the 2nd fret, and you would hit the open 5th string. So that's your A chord. And then the 4th chord serves as a lead-in back into the G, and that chord is this. What this is this is basically a D that I'm making, a standard D, but with the 6th string 2nd fret note put on it as a bass, because that note is then going to lead back up into the G. So the way that I'm shaping the chord in the intro is I'm using my first finger on the intro, meaning the intro of me playing this song as a demonstration. But the way that I'm making the chord there is I've got my first finger on the 6th string 2nd fret. The first finger is also muting out the 5th string. Then I've got an open 4th string. I've got my second finger on the 3rd string 2nd fret, and then I've got my pinky finger on the 2nd string 3rd fret. And the first string, you can let it ring out open, or it can mute altogether. I think it sounds fine either way. So that's with the first string ringing, that's with the first string muted out. If you would rather just play a standard D-shaped chord and then maybe wrap your thumb around the neck of the guitar to grab that 6th string 2nd fret, you can do that as well. Either way, this chord is used as a lead-in back into the G, where the chord progression then repeats ad nauseum for the remainder of the song. The second way that I want to show you how to make these chords is going to be out of an E-shaped formation. So instead of capoing on the 1st fret, now we're going to move and capo on the 4th fret. So I'm moving my capo to the 4th fret, and these chords in an E formation would be an E chord. I've got an open 6th string, I've got my second finger on the 5th string 2nd fret relative to our capo, I've got my ring finger on the 4th string 2nd fret relative to our capo, and then I've got my first finger on the 3rd string 1st fret relative to our capo, and then all other strings that I didn't fret are open. So the first chord would be an E-shaped chord. The second chord is going to be this, and this is a bit more difficult, but the way that, this is going to be a bar chord essentially. You're going to bar with your first finger across the relative 4th fret, and then use your second finger to put it on the 5th string relative 6th fret, and then your pinky finger to go on the 4th string relative 6th fret. and then your first finger will catch the rest of those strings getting barred across the relative 4th fret. This is like a G sharp minor. It's not the real chord of a G sharp minor, but relative to the key that we're playing in, that's what it would be. Then the next chord is going to be this, another bar chord. This would be an F sharp major bar chord. So same bar, now it's across the 2nd fret, and you're going to use your ring finger to put it on the 5th string relative 4th fret, pinky finger on the 4th string relative 4th fret, and then 2nd finger to go down on the 3rd string relative 3rd fret. And then your first finger catches the rest on the bar that you've got across the 2nd fret. The lead-in chord now is going to be a B. The way that I'm making that, and that's kind of a stretchier chord, it may be one that you haven't made before, but I've got my 2nd finger on the 5th string 2nd fret, I've got my first finger on the 4th string 1st fret, and I've got my pinky finger on the 3rd string 4th fret. And I'm just striking strings 5, 4, and 3. And then you go back into the E.